Hi everyone, welcome to this short class. It's suitable for all levels. When you're ready, let's begin. So we're going to start in a seated position, just making sure both your sit bones are in touch with the mat, sitting up tall. Please note you don't have to be in a cross-legged position, you can always have your legs extended or kneeling. We're going to start just by rolling the head round in a half circle. And take your time, notice any tight spots and do your best just to ease out. Maybe take it round in a full circle if your neck allows. And then round in the other direction. Good. From here we're going to come into the shoulders, rolling the shoulders forward and aim to really maximise the range of motion there. So big circles. Take it round in the other direction. Good. From here we're going to take a big breath in. Inhale. Take the arms overhead and just reach and extend there for a moment before you come forward, breathing out and allowing the hands to come down. Resting the head and start to walk the fingers forward. And here I like to just rock from side to side, opening up the hips a little and the lower back. Taking the hands behind you here. Take a big breath in, and as you breathe out, start to open up the chest and shoulders. Again, you can move around here or hold the stretch. And take your gaze to the ceiling. Good, and then come back. We're going to take a little side stretch. Take the inhale, arms up. Palms meet. So we're going to try and keep connection, biceps in line with the ears, palms together, and then take the arms over to the left, breathing out. Then we inhale back to center, really extend, try and keep the shoulders down, but reach up with the fingertips. Exhale over to the right and repeat. Inhale, exhale, maybe going a little further. Inhale. Try and keep contact with the sit bones and the mat. And release. Excellent. Let's come into tabletop position. So wrists are in line with our shoulders and our knees are in line with our hips here. And all we're going to do is just take some big circles. So I'm going to take the weight into the heels, into the wrists. And start to play around here, start to move, change direction. We want to ensure our fingers are spread here, so we take the weight evenly through the hands, maybe even rock forwards and backwards. Keep a nice breath going as well. Good, come back to center. Let's reset back in tabletop, maybe untuck the toes, it's a little bit more comfortable. And then we're going to take our cow-cat postures. So as we come into cat, send the belly down, look ahead, shoulders are down, we arch through the spine. And then to come into cat, think about drawing everything in and up. So chin comes to chest, squeeze belly in towards ribs. Push your way through the hands, arching into the upper back. And then repeat. Inhale, come back through cow. Exhale, everything in and up. So think squeeze in. Push your way with the hands. A couple more. So it's a really good way start to mobilise through the spine. Nice gentle stretches. One more of each. And then reset. Good. From here we're going to start to move a little bit in towards the hips. So what I want you to do is take your right leg and just hop it forward. Use your hand to adjust it if you can't get there in one motion. Keep the knee in line with the ankles. This is really important that you always are mindful of the alignment of your body. And we're just going to start to warm a little bit through the hips. You're going to take your right hand, just use it gently to support the knee and start to circle the knee one direction and then reverse it around. Good. From here, we're going to take it back into a little hamstring stretch. So just take the leg back, toes pointing up. You're going to lengthen that right leg. Now there's a real bad habit that most people have of sort of hunching over, thinking that they're getting a better stretch here. But what I want you to do is lift through the chest, so open up the chest. And you should still feel as good a stretch, if not even better. And keeping that neutral spine as well, which is really important. Good. Come back. Walk the hands forward. We're going to switch sides. So we reset back in tabletop. We're going to hop the left leg in front this time. And repeat. So we place the left hand on the left knee. And we start to circle now into this side. So again, I'm not pressing against the knee in any way, I'm just very lightly supporting. Take it into reverse. Remember to keep a nice steady, ideally a nice deep breath going throughout here. Good. We're going to take it into that hamstring stretch. So walk the hands back, straighten out the left leg, toes are pointing up. And again, think about lifting up through the chest. So if you aren't able to get onto your fingertips, you can use blocks here. They're a good way of just enabling you to work with your technique a little bit better. Good. And then creep the fingers forward. We're going to come back into that tabletop position again. So from here, let's extend the right leg and start to rock forwards and backwards. One of my favourite stretches. So you'll feel this in the lower part of the leg, in the calf. It's a nice little massage for the toes as well. And then take that stretch, push the heel down. So you feel the stretch, maybe even creeping into the Achilles there as well. Back of the ankle. And switch round, come back into tabletop. This time we extend that left leg. I'm just going to creep myself forward a little bit here and start to rock forwards and backwards. Giving the toes a little bit of love too, yeah? And then push the heel back, feeling that stretch. Come back into tabletop, just reset for a moment, ensure the fingers are spread. We're going to tuck our toes and let's just find a little hover here. So just hover the knees, maybe a couple of inches off the mat. And you start to feel the abdominals working here. We're engaging into the belly. I want you to physically feel like you're squeezing your belly button in towards your spine. So again, this idea of in and up. Good. Release the knees. Find your child's pose. Rest the forehead. Keep it active. Reach and extend the fingers. And then reconnect back with your breath here. Gently coming back up. Let's find our downward facing dog. So we can measure out from tabletop. Tuck the toes. Big breath in. And as you breathe out, think bottom to the sky. So our head wants to be in between our biceps. For those of you who are new to this, we're working the heels down towards the mat. Chest is drawing towards the thighs and your gaze is towards your toes. And breathe. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, you can keep a knee bend here. This is absolutely fine. You're still creating this pushing away with your hands, which is the effect you want to create. You want to feel like you're pushing the ground away through the palms. And again, if you feel tight, a really good way is to simply walk out your dog. Paddle the feet. Connecting still with your breath, so still keeping the nice breaths going. Option, if you get tired here and need to take a little bit of time out, you just come back into child's pose. That is your alternative for down dog. One more breath. Good. From here, very gently, just see if you can hop that right leg in front again, and you may get here, just assist and use your hand to pull your foot forward. This time, rest the knee. We're going to come into that hip flexor stretch. So I'll runner's lunge. You may want to place some support underneath your knee. So what are we feeling here? We're feeling a nice stretch down that left front hip flexor. And I describe it almost as a kind of crunchy feeling of a stretch in this right hip. Again, breathing here. So this is a really nice kind of beginner-friendly, gentle, short class. We're just moving around. We're going to keep it floor-based today. This time, frame the foot with your hands. Take the knee up. Let's make it a little bit difficult. So we come into a low crescent lunge this time. What we want to try and do is keep this extension through this left leg. So pressing the heel back will help you do this. You should still be feeling a stretch down that left front hip flexor. Good. Frame the foot. Breathe in. And breathe out. Come back into down dog. Again, you can paddle the feet. Keep it moving. I'm going to switch sides. So this time we're going to hop the left foot forward. My tip is to load the legs. Bend the legs. This gives you a little bit of movement, I guess. You can sort of propel the leg forward a lot easier. And again, if you do end up halfway, just support and use your hand to support you. We're going to drop that right knee down. Come into our hip flexor. Stretch for the other side. So again, extension down this right hip. Breathe. Ensure that you've got good alignment through your knee and your ankle. And keep that breath going. Should be feeling a little bit warmer, hopefully, in the body now. Okay, from here, let's make it a little harder. Tuck the toes, lift the knee. We come into a low crescent lunge. Still pushing back with the right heel. Expanding the chest as best you can. Now again, you can use blocks here to lift you up a little bit higher. I'm not using them this morning. I'll try and bring them along maybe next time and I can demonstrate for you. Breathing here. One more breath. Keep extending through that right leg if you can. Good. Frame the left foot. Big breath in. As you breathe out, come back into your down dog. Again, keep it moving. And just breathe here for a moment. Big breath. Shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. From here, drop the knees down. Come back into your tabletop. And we're going to find a little stretch out for our chest. So we come into puppy pose. So puppy pose, we want to aim to keep the hips as high as we can, okay? And it's a little bit like child's pose. And what you're going to feel is an opening up underneath the armpits and through the chest, okay? So very slowly, and again, you may wish to have a cushion or a block for your forehead here. Just creep the hands away from you and start to melt and sink the chest down towards the ground. And breathe. Keep the neck long. One more breath. And then very slowly come back up. Good. From here we're going to take a seat. And let's have a little stretch out through the hamstrings. Come into a little forward fold here. So again, what we want to maintain is evenness through the body. So we never want to stretch in a lopsided way. So often you'll see, especially a lot of instructors and a lot of yoga teachers start to sort of rearrange their sit bones and their bottom cheeks, and really all they're doing is just grounding themselves on the mat, okay? So we're going to reach forward. We want to think about sitting up tall. So take a big breath in, sit tall, hands extend, and as you breathe out, you're going to feel like someone's almost got hold of your hands, is pulling you forward. Keep opening up through the chest, either reaching your toes or your shins or even the side of the mat. And then holding here and breathe. So we want to stay fairly open through the chest, and otherwise not hunching down into this. So lift up. If you're unsure about this, just take your fingertips to your shins. It's a really good way of keeping fairly upright here and still stretching. And not only will you feel a stretch down the hamstrings, you'll also feel an opening, a nice kind of release through the lower back as well. And breathe. So you can keep the stretch going a little bit longer if you wish. Just pause the video. If you want to move on, just come back out nice and gently. And we're going to lie down now onto our backs. So just come all the way down, keeping the neck nice and long. Have a little move around here. Good. From here, let's T-shape the arms. Bring the knees in towards the chest. And again, rock around a little bit from side to side. And we're going to come into a really nice spinal twist just to finish this class today. So big breath in. Very gently take the knees towards your left side, trying to keep them stacked, resting the foot. Now with your neck, you can either keep looking to the ceiling or look to the right side, to the opposite side. Lovely, come back up to the centre, big breath in, Inhale the knees up and exhale towards your right, gaze over to your left side. So be sure to allow the feet to rest on the floor. We don't want to create a hovering, as I'm showing you here, of the feet. You want to rest. It doesn't matter if the knees don't meet the floor. And again, you can, if you were here for a longer period of time, you could always support underneath your knees if you weren't quite touching the ground. Here I am trying to aim to keep connection as best I can with my shoulder to the mat. And palms are facing up. Continue with your breath, big breaths. Awesome job. Okay, come back to the centre. And then probably one of my favourite movements again to mobilise and massage the lower back is just to circle the knees here. So this is a really nice way of either ending or beginning your class really. Just massaging the sacrum a little bit. And then allow the legs to extend. I'm going to shuffle myself up the mat as we come into our relaxation. Closing your eyes. Checking back in with your breath. Noticing the sensations in the body. Feeling the belly rise as you breathe in. And I'll just leave you here for as long as you need in your relaxation.